And Barak Yahweh Brakatha, Yahushua, Barak Yahweh Brakatha, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, The Dream is Over. Lord will, you are edified. My source, Natural News. Article entitled, Food Banks See Increasingly Long Lines as Food Inflation Soars and More Americans Face Hunger. This article was published July 22nd, 2022. Many hard-working Americans are no longer able to afford basics like food amid skyrocketing inflation. According to reports, lines at food banks are lengthening as increasingly more people in the U.S. seek charitable donations to help their families survive the ongoing economic crisis. Inflation right now is at a 40-year high, and gas prices are higher than they have ever been. This is hitting even the middle class. What remains of it? Let me get a precept. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls all, both small and great, no middle, rich and poor, no middle, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads, and an objective within the new world order is what? To wipe out the middle class. Okay? As you can see, this is hitting even the middle class. What remains of it? Anyway, hard as working families struggle to put food on the table. Many food banks do not have enough food to go around. However, some relief was seen after the fill in the blank ended. However, the bounce back was not nearly enough to handle the onslaught of struggling families looking for food, cash, and other assistance. It's really impossible to get by now without some help, says Thomasina John, who recently visited the St. Mary's Food Bank in Phoenix. Her first ever visit to a food bank. The prices are way too high. It's a real struggle, added Jesus Pascual, a janitor who was in the same line as John waiting for Slakim. A janitor who was in the same line as John waiting for food from the facility. Pascual now spends several $100s a month on food for himself, his wife, and their 5 children, who range in age from 11 to 19. America is becoming a third world country comprised of very rich and very poor, no middle. All of this is by design, right? All of this is by design. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls all. Who is he? The nobility of Edom, the international bankers, beginning with the Rothschilds, who are so-called white men. They are Edomites. And he calls all. Why? Because Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Going back to Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls all. See, Yahweh gave Esau a time frame to rule through Yahushua when Yahushua was Isaac. Okay? That blessing is going into a dominion, a rulership, a kingdom. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls all. Also, let's get Romans chapter 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject, meaning what? Under rule unto the higher powers. The higher powers are who? The nobility, meaning highborns of Edom. For there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained, meaning established of the Most High. The Most High gave them a rulership. Okay? Now let's finish out Job 9 and 24. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where, and who is he? America is becoming a third world country comprised of very rich and very poor. And again, this is an objective within the New World Order. Job 5 and 12. He disappoint the devices of the crafty. A device of the crafty. One device is what? Inflation. The crafty is another title for the nobility of Edom. He is referring to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, so that their hands, meaning control, might, will, cannot perform, accomplish their enterprise. Enterprise in the Hebrew means success, going back to or referring to the New World Order. Okay? John and Pasquale are no longer the exception in America. All across the country, food banks are seeing first-time visitors who never thought they would end up in a bind like this. SNAP, the federal food stamp program that covers some 40 million Americans, recently and temporarily increased benefits, but it may not be enough to keep everyone healthy and fed. A lot of people are going to starve. Okay? It does not look like it's going to get better overnight, says Katie Fitzgerald, President and Chief Operating Officer for the National Food Bank Network Feeding America. The man is really making the supply challenges complex. Okay? So there's not a silver lining. We are looking at the end of so-called America. And America, according to this article, is becoming a third world country. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. Woe to the rebellious children, Israelites, so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans based on the lineage of their fathers. Right? Said the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right. See, the prophets is telling you, beginning with the apostles of Great Millstone at this time frame, trickling down to sincere brothers, all right, are telling you via the Spirit to return to the old paths. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Return back to the old paths, okay, which is the standard, the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. All right, this American dream bullshit is nothing but a dream. And guess what? People are waking up from this bullshit. It is over. And it's only going to get worse, right? All right? And the more you participate in this system, you are adding sin to sin. Because people have no morals, no boundaries when it comes to the attainment of their next dollar. Okay? Everything is going digital. And pretty soon, all right, pretty soon, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 will be manifested. in the form of a mandate. All right. That's why we scream to you, chip ahoy. Okay. Chocolate chip ahoy. And ahoy means what? A warning. Okay. A warning. Verse 2. They'll walk to go down into Egypt. How so? Through your behavior. Right? Based on your mindset. And have not asked at my mouth, and the mouth of the Most High are the prophets. Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And we're telling you to trust in Yahweh B'Ashem, Yahweh Shah. All right. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. All right. The wisdom and knowledge referring to this truth. All right. Stability, meaning what? Credulity, credit, belief. That's the only way we're going to make it. Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Right. Right. And America is spiritually known as Egypt based on the philosophies America push. All right. Also, America is spiritually known as Babylon, which goes back to the Hebrew word babal, which means confusion. All right. The only way you can shake from the dust the confusion of America is these holy scriptures. And we're telling you now, it is over. It's not going to get better. All right. And I read an article 2 years ago. All right. When that situation that we know of started. Okay. And according to CNN, the article stated that normalcy, so-called normalcy, will never be as we know it. Lord, will you edify? Shalom.